Do you realize how important your website is? I don't think you do, all right? It is critically important to you, all right? Your website is your digital storefront, all right? Just think about that. It is where people are going to kind of come in, get introduced to your brand, and if the experience isn't good, isn't projecting the kind of image that you want, you could be actually repelling them, okay? So just to kind of bring this home, I'm going to give you some stats here. It takes about 50 milliseconds, that's 0.05 seconds, for a user to form an opinion about your website that determines whether they like your site or not. Okay, and that's going to be whether they like your business or not. So think about that. Less than a second you have. Okay, and why is that? Because first impressions matter. People are making judgments automatically, whether you like it or not. And in the beginning, as soon as they see your site, they're going to decide right away whether they like it or not. All right, and if they don't like it, it's hard to turn them around from that immediate gut reaction that they first have. So this is why your homepage is so critically important, and why it has to have a really good design, because people are judging you and your business based on less than a second. 75% of consumers admit to making judgments on a company's credibility based on the company's website design. All right? So most people are judging your business based on the website that they see. Pretty important. 88% of online consumers are less likely to return to a site after a bad experience. So if your website is not providing a good user experience, they're going to be gone, and guess what? They're never coming back. And 57% of internet users say they won't recommend a business with a poorly designed website on mobile. All right, we are in a mobile culture. All right, most people are viewing websites on a mobile device. So you better be damn sure that your site is really good on mobile. So when I'm designing a website, that's one of the things I do for my clients. I make sure that I'm looking at mobile first. Like, what does it look like on a mobile device? Because you can optimize things. So like, I may change images, from a desktop to a mobile, because one is not really, especially if you're using like wide banner images that are really like stark horizontals, doesn't really work on a vertical format. So you have to change the photos. You have to optimize it. So if they were getting a poor experience on mobile, they're gone. And I'm telling you, the number's only going to go up because more and more people are using only mobile devices. They're not even having computers because their phone is basically a computer. All right, 47% of users expect a maximum of a 2-second load time for an average website. All right, that's the max. So we live in an immediate gratification world. So if your site doesn't load quickly, you lose them. They're gone. All right, and I mean quick, under 2 seconds. All right, the biggest culprit of slowing down load times on websites is images not sized appropriately. So you take an image on your phone, and luckily our phones take high def, really good resolution. And what happens is it's a giant file, and we put it in our website, and it's a small picture. But because it's so big, it's going to load that big image. So you want to make sure your images are sized down appropriately. The other thing I see some companies make a mistake of is they have like a huge banner video, okay? That takes a lot of bandwidth to load, all right? You don't want to have a huge banner image on your homepage because it's going to suck up all the load time. Remember, less than 2 seconds, that page should load. So it's really important, and I think where a lot of people lose a lot of people just because their site is not coming on quick enough. So here's some additional ways to optimize your website. Number one, it should be a nice, clean design, all right? Less is more, okay? I see so many sites that are so cluttered with stuff that your eye doesn't even know where to go, all right? So white space is your friend, all right? Less is more. Don't try to throw everything on a website. Don't look at it. If you don't know where to go, and if there's so many things vying for your attention, it should be pretty clear, all right? Look at this slide, all right? There's a lot of contrast. There's the white. Again, white space is good. and the contrast helps you focus on the images. All right. Number one, do not have a lot of dark background, like a dark, like a black or something with light type. It's very hard on the eyes, unless you're just using small blocks of copy for that. But the most of your website should be a light or a white background, because that's the best for the eyes. It'll help your eyes kind of dig in and grab things and kind of move around there better. I mean, go look at Apple's website, all right? You'll see a minimalistic website. A lot of white space, all right? No one does it better than them. All right, so avoid the clutter and don't look about what you need to add to your website. Usually it's looking to see what you don't need. It must, I cannot stress this enough, be fully responsive. That means fully responsive means the content will adapt to whatever device the viewer is looking at it on. So if it's a phone, it's going to rearrange everything to optimize it to a phone. If it's a laptop, it's going to optimize it for a laptop. If it's a tablet, it'll move things around so it'll look different on every device. All right. Now, fully responsive is not the same as mobile friendly. A lot of these templated sites, like I think it's Wix and GoDaddy and stuff, you could just, it's mobile friendly. All right. But if you look at it on a mobile device, it doesn't look quite right. It's not giving you a good experience. Again, so when I'm designing sites, I will have different images on mobile than I will on desktop. Some things won't even show on a phone. So it needs to be fully responsive. That's so important. Also, Google has decided a couple years ago that if your site is not fully responsive, they won't even show it in search results. So if someone searches dog daycare in your town and your site's not fully responsive, Google's not even going to show it to them, because Google wants to give the best experience. And if your website is not giving the best experience, they're going to leave you out. Limit the amount of choices. We already talked about clean is good and clutter is bad, but it's been scientifically proven that if people are given too many choices, they choose nothing rather than just making any choice. So you can't give them too many options. So specifically on your menu, you shouldn't have too many menu items. No more than 5, 6, maybe the maximum tabs on your menu. Now you can have sub tabs under those tabs, but you want to keep it clean and easy for people to decide what to do. The other place I see this as a problem is your pricing. All right. So I'll get a new client on and I'll start looking at their website and I'll look at their pricing and I'll see they have 20 different packages. Like, no. All right. I had one client in New York City and I looked at their pricing and I was like, I got dizzy. There was just so many options. So we immediately cut it down to the bare minimum. All right. A handful of options. All right. No more than like 3 to 5 or 6 options again. All right. Again, you can go search the studies on this. It's human nature. You can't give people too many options. All right. You want to steer them. You want to make it very easy for them to make a choice. So limit the choices on your website. Lastly, it needs to be easy to communicate with your business. All right. So you got to have your contact information plainly visible. You can have it on every page in the footer. Some people have it up in the header, but it's got to be easy to get in touch with you. All right. When someone has a question or whatever, they got to really be able to easily reach out. What I've been testing and what I've discovered is that the best thing to have is a chat widget on your website. All right. Now, I see a lot of people using chat widgets, but I see people using it wrong. All right. The reason why chat widgets are so good is because we are in a text society. Okay. People are much more likely to text or to chat than they are to go to the trouble to pick up a phone and actually call you or to type out an email. It's very quick, and we're a culture that is used to text messaging, and that seems to be the preferred mode of communication. You want to make it as easy for people as possible to communicate with you, and you want to do it in the way that they find easier, not that you find easier. So what we did was, for all my clients, I put a chat widget on their website, and it goes through our software. So what happens with a lot of these chat widgets that you have is when someone types something in there, you get an email. All right. And then you have to email them back. But that defeats the whole purpose of a chat. All right. The chat needs to be timely. So it has to happen as quickly as possible. And they don't want to do email. That's the first thing they told you because they chatted. So you need to be able to text them back. So the software that I use for my clients is someone sends a message to the chat widget. They get an alert on their phone. and then they go into the software and respond to them, and the person gets a text message back. All right. Just putting that on the website usually increases the amount of inquiries my clients get by like 5 to 10 times. All right. Just by putting it on, just from the traffic you're already getting on your website. So I highly recommend you do that, and just make sure no matter what you're doing, you make it very easy for people to reach out to you. All right, next up is the social proof aspect. This is very critical. It's only getting more and more important as time goes on. So you want to make sure that you're providing people with social proof every step of the way. And what it does is it just helps them, reassure them that they're making a good decision and that you are a good company. All right, social proof basically is just reviews. I mean, it could be other things like awards and accolades and stuff like that, but for the most part, reviews are going to be the most important thing. All right, and what reviews do are reviews say, okay, I don't know this business, but all these other people say it's great, so I'm going to agree that it's great as well. Reviews are now ingrained into our society. You can thank Amazon for that, but people don't do anything without checking reviews first. All right, so you want to make sure you're getting reviews. All right, so the two places, there's a couple places I recommend reviews. Number one is Google. Google is by far the most relevant and the most important. My advice for everyone is you need to have at least 50 plus 5-star reviews, and preferably 20 more than any of your competitors. But more the better, all right? Triple digits and up is what we're looking for, all right? The reason why is because people, given all things are equal, they're just looking at your website. They're just Google searching. Who are they going to call first? They all seem pretty good. They're going to go with who has the most reviews. All right. So we want to make sure that that's your business, and we're going to make sure that there's just a big disparity from you and all of your competitors, so they know that, wow, there's a reason that you maybe charge more, or why I should call you, because all these people can't be wrong. All right. 1 or 2 people maybe, but all these people can't be wrong. All right. So make sure you're cultivating those Google reviews. So the first thing I do with the client, we check out those reviews, and then we do a specific review campaign to jump that number by like 50. And then we have an ongoing campaign to get reviews coming in every single week, because your competitors are probably doing the same thing if they're smart. So you want to make sure you have a system to consistently, continually get reviews in. It's just going to be more and more important as time goes on. All right. Other place you need some social proof is on your website. All right. And a lot of people I see have a testimonials page. I don't like testimonials pages. If you go look in your Google Analytics, if you have it set up on your site, so you can see where people are clicking, I would guarantee you that's the last page people ever go to, and most people don't ever go there. So I like to put testimonials peppered around the content of your website. Every page has a couple testimonials on it. All right. That's kind of always, as they're doing it, they're not looking for it, but it's there in the corner of their eye. They're seeing it. All right. So they may not go to your testimonials page, but they're going to these other pages. I want them to see that other people say you're awesome. Definitely you want to have it where you have any pricing, because people are going to look at your pricing and they're going to say, oh, do I think this is worth it? You want some proof that it is worth it. So that's where you have some social proof right around your pricing, so that people know, oh yes, I see, wow, this is expensive, but look, all these people say how great they are. They must be great. All right. So start with Google. Once that's taken care of, then you can go to Facebook and start getting reviews there. Once you have 100 plus reviews on Google, then you could go and start getting some on Facebook. It is important, but not quite as important as Google. Forget about Yelp. All right. People are like, oh, well, Yelp maybe 10 years ago was the thing. Yelp is irrelevant today. Okay. The reason why is you have to go to an external third-party website to actually view it. Everyone's on Google every day. Everyone's on Facebook every day. They don't have to click to another site. Yelp is going to go extinct unless they somehow change their business model, because no one is going to Yelp. When was the last time you went to Yelp? Never. Not anytime soon. Not for any reason, really. But now, people are always on Google, so that's where the reviews are popping up. They're not going to click to another site. So just focus on Google, then Facebook, and make sure your website has it as well.